Now, we started off the morning, of course, with a whole bunch of information. We had Anthony Chowlinan, who was telling us to remember the idea. We had Kyle, who encouraged us to have an enabling network. And we had Derek, who taught us to be fearless. And, of course, we had Shivani, who taught us about design thinking. And we have Carla and Larry, who reminded us to keep an open mind. And so what we're bringing up now is free online tools to start your business, because we want to ensure that as entrepreneurs, you have all that you need, all that is necessary to have a successful business. And so in this masterclass, I want to present our first presenter. Now, this gentleman serves as the Senior Regional Representative for Google Cloud in the Caribbean, bringing with him a wealth of experience in sales, procurement, and negotiation. With an impressive track record of success, he began his career in the public sector of TNT before embarking on a transformative journey in Latin America. After leaving his job in 2010, he volunteered in Peru, which led him to spend a decade living and working in Peru, Costa Rica, and Colombia. Passionate about regional development, he visits technology views as a pivotal force for positive change in TNT, and he prioritizes customer success above all else, consistently striving for the best outcomes for his clients. And so please help me to welcome who will be joining us online, Mr. Nicholas DOPWELL, Senior Regional Representative at Google LLC. He will be speaking about free technologies to accelerate your business. Let's welcome him as we see him on our screens.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So happy to be here speaking to you today, and looking forward to spending a little time with you. So we don't have too much time, so let me tell you a little bit about what I want you to know. So Google has a number of free tools that you can use to start your business. So depending on what your cash flow is like, you may not have a lot of money to invest in software or different tools that can really show you that can do everything that you need it to do. Now, Google started out as Google.com more than 20 years ago with the mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And what that meant is that Google
Nicholas?
Yes.
Nicholas, hi. So just one thing. This is the last time I'm going to interrupt, I promise. We are sharing your screen on your behalf so we can see what you see.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. All right. So
Nice.
you can see what I see.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah? Okay.
Okay. All right. So Google started out with the ambition to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And what that meant was that Google had to figure out how to manage data in a way that no other organization had to in the past, because they had to manage more data than anyone else, any government, any organization had to think about. And so Google reinvented many of the tools that manage data. And that's very important because data became the backbone of a lot of what we do today. And it also served in a huge way in terms of developing things like AI models. And now in doing this, Google wanted to make sure that a few core values were kept at the forefront, and these are simplicity, security, and speed. Now, in terms of doing this, Google then has built out a lot of other products, many of which we are very familiar with today. And with these products, which I'm sure many of the people in the audience use most on a daily basis, Google wanted to make sure that simplicity, security, and speed has been maintained. And these are things I'm telling you because I also want you to know why we want you to partner with Google. Even if it's at the free level, we want to make sure you're successful, but we also want to make sure that everything you're doing with us is simple, secure, and fast. What you may not know as well is Google also has the largest global private fiber network in the world. So there's a global fiber network, which is why many of us would also check to see if we have a good internet connection by going to google.com first, right? And the reason why you would do that is because you know that that one tends to come up fast, and you don't know why, but this is why. Because when you use Google, your information is not depending on the public internet for most of its usage, right? So let me get straight into what you might want to see, right? First of all, you want to make sure that you have a website that is out there that people can access, so that you can, give people access to see what products, what service you're providing, and that is one very critical part of, your marketing and your interaction with your customers. And to do that, there's a few tools that Google has. One method is through Google Sites, another is through Blogger, another is through Google My Business. So we have a My Business platform, which is also free to register on. And I'm just gonna go and start a video now so you can see a little bit more about how to use these.
What better way to host a website than with the almighty power of Google? Google has 4 different web hosting options, 3 of which include some sort of free subdomain name, and for the last option, Google also sells domain names, which in fact can be linked to any website that you make with Google. So to summarize, these 3 Google website builders can be completely free. You'll have to buy a domain name for this one, and all of them are 100% Google powered. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of each one of these Google web hosting platforms to help you decide which option is best for your website. And let's start out with Google My Business, which, as the name implies, is a website for your business. Google My Business itself is a broad suite of tools to help you manage your business on things like Google Search and Google Maps, and part of this set of tools is a free website. While you have a small palette of themes to choose from, there is some amount of customization in the content of your site, and you can expect to create something like this one-page website with testimonials, a business overview, and a gallery of photos. When someone searches for your business on Google, this card will show up, and this button right here will link to your Google My Business website. Notice how all Google My Business websites get a free subdomain at a business.site address, but you do have the option of purchasing a custom domain name from Google Domains. Our next free web hosting option is Google Sites, which is intended to not only be used by businesses like restaurants and salons, but also for events, portfolios, projects, and clubs. You have the option of choosing one of these pre-built templates or starting with a blank slate. Google Sites is very customizable with different layouts and the ability to add text, images, buttons, videos, maps, and directly embed Google Docs, slides, sheets, forms, and charts. And maybe the best part is that you can drag and drop content to arrange it in the way that you like. Your website can have as many pages as you'd like and can even have an easy to navigate drop-down menu like this. When your site is ready, you can publish it for free to a custom address at sites.google.com, or you have the option of purchasing a domain name and linking it to your website. Blogger is our next free website hosting option from Google, where you can create a customizable blog for free. A blog is a specific type of website with content that is typically created on a regular basis. In Blogger, you can create as many blog posts as you like, and these blog posts will typically show up in reverse chronological order on your homepage. In addition to blog posts, you can also create as many pages as you like, and the only difference between a post and a page is that a post has a date associated with it, whereas a page does not. There is a good selection of themes to choose from, and once you have a theme picked out, you have some flexibility over the layout of your website. Once again, you get a free subdomain name of your choosing at a blogspot.com address, or you have the option of linking a custom domain name that you already own or buying a new one from Google Domains. The next free web hosting option is the Google Cloud Platform, and this by far is the most technically advanced way to host a website on Google. Everything up to this point has been intuitive and easy to use, but that's just not the case here because the Google Cloud Platform literally gives you access to the very infrastructure that Google uses for its products like Google Search, Gmail, Google Drive, and YouTube. While Google Cloud Platform is vast, complicated, and can be very expensive, with some services costing hundreds or thousands of dollars per month, there is also a free tier where you can get a 30 gigabyte server to host a website, which can be anything from a basic static website to WordPress, and even a super custom website built on Python, PHP, JavaScript, or Ruby. As with all the options in this video, you can also pair your Google Cloud Platform hosting with a domain name from Google Domains to make it a truly 100% Google-powered website. If you want a step-by-step tutorial for any of these options that we discussed in this video, I have a few videos linked over here and the rest down in the description.
Basically, very important, you do have access to tools to create your website. So one of them, very important, Google Sites, comes as one of the applications that you get free with your Google Gmail, right? And the other, it comes as part of your Google business profile. So you might have looked for a business or looked for a hotel, something like that before, and searching on Google, you see that little something like what you see to the right of my screen here, which shows you, what sort of business this is. It's Anne's Coffee Shop. It gives you a summary of what the business is, how to contact the business, opening hours. It gives access to the website, and very important, you can interact with customers. So you get reviews, and people write reviews, and then you're able to respond as well, right? So that sort of functionality allows you to have better visibility, that it makes you far more searchable, it makes you more credible. It allows you to have better customer service by addressing challenges that a customer may have had. And by being so visible, you are able to generate far more leads, right? So I would, advise anyone thinking about starting a new business, please go ahead, search Google Business Profile, start your free account. You'll get access to many free tools, and you'll be able to personalize it and interact with your customers. You can update it as often as you need to. If the business moves, you can change the address. If a number changes, you have full control of the account, right? Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys quickly was that you could leverage AI. I saw we were speaking a lot about AI for a while now, to help you build your business. So I'm going to just come out quickly out of the presentation. I'm going to go into BARD here. And in BARD, you can do things like, say, write me a business plan for a coffee shop in Trinidad, right? And you're going to see now that, so you can go to bard.google.com and you will get access to this instantly. It helps you write a plan, right? And then you might say, well, to start with, you can copy and paste it so that you can start editing it. But then you might say, I want a lot more information on the marketing plan. So I might say, hey, what are some good areas in Trinidad to locate a coffee shop? And you might just do this to get some ideas, right? Let me put Trinidad and Tobago so that it doesn't get confused with any other location called Trinidad in the world, right? And you're going to see, again, now you all have access to this right now. There's no need to pay anything. There's no complication. If you have a Gmail, there's absolutely no problem, right? And so you'll see some things, right? And then I might say, well, what do I want to sell in my shop? So I might say, what coffee shop items may sell well, right? So you can keep asking questions. I don't want to run out of time, and I think I may have. But you can keep asking questions, and doing so, BARD will continue to help you for free get information and building out your planning and doing your market research in developing ideas for your business. The last major thing I want to show you is that around your Gmail, you have a suite of products that you can use for your business. So you can start a new account, and the first thing I would really say is that you can store and easily retrieve content. So many of you would already have a Google Drive or have Google Photos. So this is a familiar platform you're on. And what you'll notice is that if you search in your Google Drive, if you make no folders, if you do not make a folder in your Google Drive, but you search based on content that you know is inside a document, inside your Google Drive, it will show up. The reason for that is that on the same technology that runs google.com is used for search inside of your Google Drive and your Google Photos. So it allows you to have a more modern way of retrieving documents. So if you think about how many of us would think about your document management, you might think, oh, I need to create folders, and I name that folder and I put documents in there based on what type of document it is. And you can do that in Google Drive, but if you make a mistake, it won't matter. Why? Because we are not using paper and physical folders anymore, and you're able to then search based on exactly what you want to find, and you will find it. Same thing with your Google Photos. So you might have photos, images, and video that you need to store for your business and marketing and for generating content. And that sort of thing you can definitely store in your Google Photos. The other thing you can definitely do is you can create content and documents using Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and Google Slides. And the great thing is once you open it and you start writing, you start making something, it automatically stores. Even if you don't name it, there's no clicking save, nothing like that. This is a completely modern platform that you do not have to worry about. It's extremely intuitive. And when you're thinking about what sort of platform you want to use, think about what world you're building it for. Not the world that has been, but the world that will come. And with that, you want to make sure to have as modern a platform as possible, as universally acceptable a platform as possible as well. And so in terms of collaboration, you then as well have Gmail, Google Meet, and Chat. And all of this, of course, everybody knows your Gmail is free, but what I want you to know is that you can optimize the tools that come with that. And in doing so, I want you to also know Google Workspace is by far the largest email provider in the world. So Gmail has over 2 billion daily users. There's over 6 million businesses. There's been over 80% growth in Google Workspace in the last 2 years. 40% of Fortune 500 companies are using Google Workspace. So this is something that is growing at an extremely fast pace. And it mentions there that there's over 150 million students. Students coming out of school typically are asking for workspace accounts, right? So it's not the same world that I know when I graduated from university, we all wanted to make sure we got certified in different ways around Office. Right now, there's a big shift happening at the same time. So you will find that you have the ability to do a hell of a lot on a completely free platform. There are many other tools, but these are a few that I just wanted to highlight for you today. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, we do appreciate you, but please stand by. We have one more speaker to bring on before we host the Q&A. And so I'd like us to now turn our attention as I welcome the founder and CEO of Rose IT Services Limited, a leading managed IT service provider headquarters in TNT for over 12 years. With 25 years of experience, he simplifies IT, aligns technology with clients' goals, and fosters accelerated growth for businesses worldwide. His passion for delivering technology solutions that solve real-world problems is evident in pioneering ventures like Rose Virtual, an industry-leading provider of virtual and hybrid events, and iVote, live and efficient and secure online e-voting platform. And so please help me to welcome Mr. OMAR Romero, CEO of Rose IT Services Limited. Let's put our hands together for him. And please keep your questions because we have our Q&A after. Let's welcome Mr. Romero.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I have an after lunch spot, so if you're all sleeping and all that, this is not the preferred thing, but what I'm going to do in my presentation today is I'm going to ask for some volunteers. So if you all could help me with the presentation. I'm very thankful to be here today to do this presentation. And I really want to thank and recognize NEDCO. Along with me speaking, we have the opportunity to actually host this event in a hybrid format. So for the persons who are online, I hope you're enjoying the hybrid experience. We are also trying our best to engage you. So if you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand or send a message. And if you'd like to ask questions, just like the people who are here, you're able to do that. So my presentation today is on free online tools. And before I get into the presentation, to introduce a bit about myself. My company, Rose IT Services Limited, is a managed IT service provider here in Trinidad. We are 12 years old, and as a technology entrepreneur, we are in the business of solving problems every day. And as much as we solve big problems for people, we also deal with individuals and businesses. And I really enjoyed the presentation this morning from Derek and the ability to be here because I know that in this room we have other entrepreneurs and people who are online. And I can relate very well because as entrepreneurs, we all have very similar challenges. How many people here in the room are entrepreneurs or have small businesses? If you could see me, raise hands. Okay, great. Right? And what, in my experience of years of helping businesses and individuals and clients, I've come to realize is Derek would have talked about being innovative and solving problems. And as entrepreneurs, that many times is our focus. And that how do we solve problems for people? Whatever business we do, we have a service, we believe in our service, and we try to bring that service to people. But one thing we have a challenge with is solving problems for ourselves, right? And in my journey, I would have had the same challenges. People feel that, as somebody who is in IT, you would know all the best tools for your business. That's not true at all. And as part of my presentation, what I want to do is share some of the challenges I would have had. And I think it may be some of the challenges you guys would have as well. And a bit about how we were able to solve those problems. So what I've found in my experience is that almost unanimously, entrepreneurs, individuals, businesses that have been early adopters of technology have realized accelerated growth. And that we can speak about companies, but we can also speak about individuals. And getting in tune with technology has helped their businesses. Now, what I will say as I go through my presentation, I've chosen a few tools to share. There are many, many different tools, some that apply to everyone, some that may apply to your specific niche, some that you may already know, some that you may not be familiar with. So if you are, it's fine, but I'm sure for the people online in different walks of life, there may be something to learn. And I think sometimes when we, as technologists, try to explain technology. It seems like it flies over your head a bit, right? So what we're going to do is actually look at the real things that problems solve. And that's why I'm saying before adopting technology, I think it's really important to understand the problem you're trying to solve. So the first tool and the first problem we're trying to solve is can we set up a meeting problem? So I want to ask everyone here, just by a raise of hands, in the course of your business, how many of you, in terms of your sales and the business, rely on having to set up a meeting with somebody? If I could just get a raise of hand. I have a product or service to sell. Hey, when are you available to meet? Right? And we're going to do a little play on it now and tell me if this is how it pans out. How you doing? We had a nice conversation. When are you available to meet? Let me check my calendar. Are you all familiar with that? Right, let me check my calendar. I'll get back to you, and then next week you call this person. Hey, did you check your calendar? Yes, let's meet on Friday. I have 2 p.m. Let me check my calendar. I'm busy. Send me the link. Has anybody ever sent you like just a WhatsApp Zoom link? If you all are doing that, don't ever do that, because that doesn't remind you that you have a meeting coming up at all, right? Now, I had myself, this was a big problem for me, because in my line of business, if I'm selling technology solutions, I often need to meet with clients, and I often need to set up meetings with them, and sometimes this cycle can go on for weeks. What was also happening is that sometimes somebody may say, okay, let's do Friday morning at 10. I'll say, yeah, sure, man. And I check Friday morning, I already had something. So you're double booking, and then you're saying now, well, what about Friday at 5 p.m.? So now I'm taking this 5 p.m. meeting, and then my life is getting crazy. And what's happening is I'm reaching home late, not getting time to spend with the family, and it's just getting out of hand. So I discovered a solution called Calendly. Are you all familiar with Calendly? Calendly for me, and why I chose to announce it, to deal with it first, is one of the most transformative solutions I have ever had. Reason being, and I want to say this twice, is the one solution that allowed me to take more meetings in a given month while having more time for myself. Does that make sense? So I was able to take more meetings, get more done, achieve more closure in business, but also structure my life, right? Calendly is an appointment scheduling solution. It is completely free. It integrates with your email, whether you use Google Mail, as Nicholas mentioned, whether you use Outlook, it integrates directly. And it works very simply. Now, the first and most important thing is setting up your availability. So what I did basically is I set up my availability according to the schedule I want. So I know I'll be in the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays regardless, every day from a certain time to a certain time. And I set my availability for that. On Monday afternoons, I know I have football with the kids. You can't pick that time, right? On Fridays, we have field, we have on-site, so you structure your availability. This is me, but whatever is relevant to you, you set up your availability for that, and always consider the things first that are most important to you outside of your professional setting, right? Make time for the things that are important. And then what Calendly allows me to do is once I have my availability and I create a meeting link, anybody I meet with, instead of saying, well, can we do Friday or can we do Monday or whatever, the dynamic here is that me saying that is not considering, I want to meet with the person, is not considering the person on the other end. I want their time. It really should be according to their schedule. So you give that person a link and say, pick a time that works for you. So when that person clicks that link and they see a full list of times, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, say, okay, I have Wednesday, 12 p.m., boom, I'll select that time. That goes straight into their calendar. I come straight into my calendar. It will never clash with something I have already there because it's integrated. And that simple thing is going to, one, help you close more meetings, because you not have this song and dance where, can we do next week, can we do here, whatever. You don't have that dance happening. But you have deferred to the person you want to meet with, to that person you want to do business with, to make it convenient for them. But the real thing is that it is convenient for you, right? It fits into your availability, your calendar, and you would be able to free more time for yourselves, right? So that's one of the first ones I wanted to point out. This is what a calendar looks like on Calendly when you set it up. And this is what, if anybody, I give them a link, I can send that link on WhatsApp, I can email that link, or however I present that link to someone. They click this, they see a wide open calendar of times that are convenient to them, and they pick a time, and we have our meeting set. It never clashes with anything else, but it falls into a mutually convenient schedule. So meetings that would have taken 3 weeks for me to get in front of someone, you may very well meet that person the next week, right? And you guys can think, of course, in your process, how that will convert into more sales, more closures, more success in your business. All right. So we move on to the next one. Tech, I don't think the slide is moving forward. Can you move it one for me? Right, next problem. The can you send me a quote or invoice problem. And to talk about this one, I want to give an example. So 2 weeks ago, and let me ask another question. How many of you, in the course of doing your business, have to deal with service providers, contractors, and you have to ask them to send you a quote? And I'm not talking about necessarily companies, I'm talking about tradesmen, right? How many of you know that pain? I need you to send me a quote, and when I see the quote, then I could approve the quote. And then, all right, boss man, I will type up a PDF and email you next week, or I'll write it up on a paper and bring it for you, oh my gosh. Or maybe you need an invoice, right? I need an invoice because it has to, accounts is asking for this invoice to go into expense and stuff like that, and you all would know that when you're dealing with tradesmen, this could be very difficult. So 2 weeks ago, we had a problem with the fridge in the office, and the plumber comes in to fix it, no problem. We say what the price is, everything works out. And then I say to him, listen, whenever you get a chance, send me an invoice because that has to go to accounts. And within 2 hours, boom, on my phone, invoice, right? Let me show you what it looked like. I'll come back to this, right? So this is an excerpt of the invoice I had, right? Very professional looking invoice. It says exactly what is done. It says what the price is, right? And how was he able to do that? Right now, if you have a business or you are a service provider or stuff, what I will say is that I see every day that a lot of businesses lost just from the fact that businesses are not able to do this quickly. A lot of companies will choose someone just from the fact that they got that quotation the quickest. I get that quotation tomorrow, and I had to wait next week for the next man to give me that quotation. You know what? This first man know what he's doing, right? This app is made possible by an app called Wave. Sorry, I'm trying to go backwards. Oh, sorry, right? Right, so how many, are you all familiar with Wave? Right, so you'll be familiar with Waves for anybody who is not familiar. And it's an app that you can use on your phone for invoicing and accounting. Everything is integrated. You can simply type up whatever service you did. It will automatically publish that invoice. You have an accounting solution. It will send a PDF. Everything is done professionally. And that one thing is going to free the time that you are taking to get in front of a computer, type up an invoice, save it to a PDF, email the person. You have already eliminated so many elements of the process, and those elements are costing the business money. So I say that to say that For example, this is what the website says are the benefits of Wave, and its accounting features and tools and user. Forget all that, right? The problem it is solving is that you can get a quotation or an invoice in your client's hand in no time at all. And that adoption, simple adoption of technology will be beneficial to any business. All right. Next problem. The I need to create a graphic or flyer problem. How many of you all are familiar with this problem, right? I always have a joke. People say, well, you know, because our company's into IT, you're supposed to make, I don't know anything about making graphics, brother, right? I don't know anything about that. When, for every service you have and what type of business you have, part of it, and some of the previous presenters would have mentioned stuff like video and graphics and flyers. Everyone has this challenge of having to produce a professional looking graphic and flyer. And if you're not, I think many will be familiar with, but Canva is a very good solution, an online solution to create graphics, to create flyers, all type of digital content. It comes with preloaded templates, professional templates that you can use, simply edit from a computer or a phone. And by doing that, it just gives your service or your company a much more professional look. And it's not something where you have to necessarily engage the services of a graphic designer to do it, especially for those quick and dirty things. Stuff like events, promotion, flyers, and stuff. Canva has a lot of good templates for that. So it's something to definitely explore. All right. Next problem, the I need a person to do it for me problem. This is one of my favorite problems. There's certain things I could do, but I just can't take the time to sit down to do. You see something like a logo, right? I need a logo, I have a new idea for a business, and I need somebody to get that back to me within 3 days. I need a graphic, I need a resume spruced up, I need a Word document copy edited, I need all those quick and dirty, easy things that take time away from your business. How many of you are familiar with Fiverr? Okay, great. Fiverr is an online freelancing solutions, and what it is a platform where and the concept of Fiverr has always been that there are people who will do a job for you for $5 US, right? And of course there are variations to that in terms of what you need done, but typically for those really quick and dirty type services and those things that you could probably do, but you just can't take the time to do, there are a world of resources on the Fiverr platform. You can go up there, you can post an ad for something you need done, and it would, of course, according to your business, you would know what that would mean, well, what job that would be. But for any of those type of tasks, and you would get freelancers who would bid on that for you, and usually it's very, very affordable. And you look at their ratings, you look at their portfolios, you look at their quality, and then you can have a very professional item produced for you. And usually it's very, very, the great thing about these platforms is they go by ratings. So if somebody promises you something in 5 days, you will get it in 5 days because that person is not going to chance a bad review, right? So definitely a platform that you can look at. All right. The I need to send an email to a list of persons problem. So this is your email marketing problem. How many of you in your business, in terms of marketing or communicating, have the problem where you need to distribute maybe a campaign or a message or an email to a list of 100 people, and that's going to get blocked or as spam in your email? Are anybody familiar with that problem? Yeah, right? And as well, being able to draft a professional looking email, an email that says this is a company that has an email that matches the level of services you want to display from your company, right? For the persons who are online, the email you would have gotten to join this conference raise your hand if you think it was packaged well. It had all the information, it had the agenda, it had the speakers, had a nice button to join the meeting and stuff. That was done with MailChimp. Are you all familiar with MailChimp? Now again, MailChimp is just one platform. There are other platforms like Constant Contact and other email marketing platforms. But again, MailChimp is a platform where it's very easy to use, to pick up, to design an email, to put different elements in it. And it will also address that problem of a bulk email going out and being recognized as spam. So you use MailChimp, you upload your list to the platform, you draft your campaign, and you distribute. And the great thing about it, it also gives you analytics. So it's something we use, and it's very important in our services as well. Because, for example, when we're doing hybrid events like this, it's important to know that if we sent an email out to 1,000 persons, how many people read the email, how many people got their details to allow them to join, and that's really important information to communicate back to a client. So MailChimp, great solution for that. Right? Okay, so this particular solution, and I should say as well, this is, I know we're talking about free online tools, but for any business, I would say the everything I need to run my business problem. And yes, it's free, but for anyone who I would say is interested in accelerating your business, definitely consider the paid features of Office 365, right? Office 365, for me, I would say, is the one solution for any client we have that allows them to take their business anywhere in the world, right? Now, a lot of people, when they think Office 365, they think Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and not the cracked version, the licensed version, right? And they just consider that, that's just Microsoft Office, but there's a lot more than that, right? And to give an example, we have clients who will be traveling the world, they will be in Europe, they will be whatever it is they want to do, and if you out sailing on some ship somewhere, and as long as you have internet, you open your laptop, and because of the powerful features of things like OneDrive and SharePoint, everything that is done in your business in real time is available to you anywhere you have an internet connection, right? So you have a business and you have staff working and you have all your company data being loaded in SharePoint. If this afternoon somebody makes a change to a document and puts one word, and you open your laptop wherever you're in the world, that document is updated in real time, right? And it means that has ability that you are now office independent. It doesn't mean that you have to go to your physical office to get into your email, to see your documents that's sitting on the server in the office. That cloud-based solution is the one thing that has accelerated businesses. And to give sort of a bit of example, all right, I often like to, can I borrow this? All right. So I often like to sort of find a practical way to explain the benefit of what Office 365 done and work with me here a little bit, right? Let's pretend this is an attachment, an email attachment, right? And the old way was that this is a document you are working on, you make changes, and then you email this over to the other person, right? So the changes you made are in this document, and now you have to wait until the person gets into their email, downloads the attachment, digests the attachment, make changes, and then what? Send it back to you, right? Now let me put inside a day. When I come back to you, you leave the office, you go on holiday for a week. You're not seeing this until you get back, right? And what Office 365 does, or what SharePoint does, is because instead of having that email back and forth, and then you have one version, and then this person has one version, and then you made the change, and then it's a different change and stuff, what that does is put this attachment on one table, and you and that person are sitting together, editing and working on that same document. And that simple functionality is the functionality that has accelerated the growth of so many businesses. Now, I will say I speak on Office 365, but Google Workspace, other productivity solutions are the same things. But the point I'm trying to get, thank you, is that companies avoid going down that road because they think, okay, you know what, we good with email, we good with this for now, whatever. But the companies who take that step to implement those technologies are by far, I see companies who start with 2 people, then they realize getting things done faster. I need a 3rd person, I need a 4th person, a 5th person, 6th person. We move into, we want to do an office in Guyana. Okay, no problem. This is how you do it. Set up your documents over there, make that available. It's secure, it's backed up, it's in the cloud. Solutions like that are what accelerate business much faster than anything else, right? And again, this is like, for example, what it says online when you look at the benefits of Office 365. And I always find it difficult with these things, because for me, this doesn't tell you the real benefit, right? Business continuity, mobility support, control, and right? The real thing is that whatever piece of data your company has, every single piece of data, every piece of email information is available to you wherever you are in real time. That's the biggest benefit of it. Right? And just before I end, and just on that point as well, I just want to tell, from my observation, the history of companies and how they grow by adopting technologies through the history of email. And again, let me know if you all are familiar with this. But at some point, sometime in the past, and I mean, I could have started this timeline even further, like we could talk about carrier pigeons, right? But at some point, maybe in the 80s, 90s, people used to use fax. Fax machines, and you walk to a fax machine, you put a document in, and you send it to somebody with fax machines. And then at some point, maybe in the 90s, free email came around, and now you had Hotmail, and you had AOL and Netscape and these things, and it's a lot faster, because now you have email, and you can send information from your business or to your client much faster, right? Then at some point, companies realize, well, okay, I can't have everybody in my company just using their own Hotmail, because they're just basically doing their own thing. So now we have company email, where you have corporate email, you have your own domain, mycompany.com or whatever it is, and all the email sits in the office on the server, and the business now has the email. And then you're realizing, as I'm speaking, that a company is growing along this path, right? And then at some point, maybe in the 2000s, they said, well, all these servers in office are difficult. You need a high-level expertise, and you need, dedicated network administrators, and there's a lot of overhead to manage. And they move that to the cloud. So that's where you start having cloud email and things like Office 365 and Google Workspace coming through. I promise not to say the word AI in my presentation, by the way, right? And then at some point, we get up to productivity suites, where we're not just talking about email, but what we're talking about is your entire business and your files and your communication integrated into one single platform, and you're realizing the benefits of it being integrated. Now, I make this point to say that in 2023, there's still companies who hear, right? There's still companies who hear and don't want to make that step, right? If you had to deal in the course of your business with a company who has a proper domain and a setup and a dedicated marketing address and an account at their own domain, or a company that just has mycompany@gmail.com, which one would you choose, right? Just get back to the last point. Companies that have taken that step to adopt technology have by far, and got to this point, have by far been more successful in growing than companies who have resisted it, right? So closing off, right? Just last thing to say that if how to choose technologies, how to choose which solutions work best for your company. Like I said, there's so many tools out there, but I would say, does it save you time? Does it make you more efficient? Does it make your business more productive? And does it deliver a better customer experience? If those things check the box, definitely make the step to adopt technology. Thank you, everyone. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Omar, and of course, Nicholas, who I know is still online. I'm going to go quickly to one of the questions we have online. And so the question is, if you have an idea for a virtual heritage tour of certain historic places in your neighborhood, what's the best way and who is the best person to contact about taking the idea forward? Carla, this one might be for you. So one more time, if you have an idea for a virtual heritage tour of certain historic places in your neighborhood, what's the best way and who is the best person to contact about taking the idea forward? And I know somebody will bring a mic to Carla soon. In the meantime, I know we may have questions for Nicholas and also for Omar, so please keep them close, because when Carla is finished, I'm coming to you.
Okay, thank you. Testing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question. We have quite a number of people who, they have ideas, and certainly a virtual heritage tour, is it?
Heritage
is
tour,
something
yes.
that really falls within our scope in terms of what we want to, put to market. What I suggest they do as a first point is to email us at stakeholderrelations@visittrinidad.co.tt. That's stakeholderrelations@visittrinidad.co.tt. And we can take it from there. So they put their idea or ideas down, and we will facilitate as much as possible getting, them to the right point of contact to see that idea through.
Nice.
Yeah?
Thank you, Carla. And as it relates to the presentation that we just saw in terms of the business tools that we can use for our business, is there anyone who has a question for either Nicholas or Omar? No questions? We're just going to be downloading Calendly and downloading Wave and everything to help our business? One more time, any questions for Nicholas or Omar? All right, I have one more question then from online, and I guess this is for Francesca. You maybe can answer this one. How does one apply for a NEDCO loan, and is there an age limit to it?
Hi, good day.
Hello.
Everybody hearing me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, I'm Melissa Jitagurlal. I'm the business manager for NEDCO North Branch. We are situated around the Queen's Park Savannah building, NIB, second floor. Right? The question was, how does one apply for a loan?
And is there an age limit?
Okay, so our age limit, let me start with the age limit. The age limit is 65 years old. So that's our cutoff point between the ages of 18 and 65. How do they apply for a loan? The easiest thing that I can tell persons now, you could go online. You look at www.nedco.gov.tt. You will see the 5 branches that we have: Tobago, San Fernando, Central, East, and of course, my branch, right? And those are for those persons in the North Branch.
Yeah.
You go online and you can visit us. You can give us a call. You could send us an email. We have NEDCO training as well. You can send an email through that, and we will be in contact with you.
Great. Thank you so much. And one more time, any questions for Nicholas or Omar on those business tools that can help us to simplify our business as entrepreneurs? Yes, a question for the guy in the jacket there. Someone is coming to you with a mic, sir.
Hi, yeah. My question is, if you want to get involved in like affiliate marketing, how easy is that to do? Or do you have to go on to but it's just being an entrepreneur. So how easy is it to get into that? And how easy it is to set up a website?
Right.
'Cause I tried already, and I paid money, and still don't have a website. So, so that's my
Of
two
course.
questions.
Can I defer to Nicholas online first, Omar? Is that okay? Nicholas, are you with us?
Yes, you can definitely set up a website, free or paid. If anyone would like, they can send me an email at ndopwell at google.com. But I can share some information with you on how to use your free Gmail account. There's an application attached to it called Sites. And if you want to have your own domain, and as one thing Omar mentioned is very true, if you want to have a very professional look, sometimes it's a good idea to pay for a domain, but you can quickly make a drag and drop website using even your free Gmail sites. But there's honestly quite a number of tools outside of Google as well for creating a website. That should not be a problem.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. Anything else to add, Omar, on your end?
No.
Good to go? All right. Any more questions? One more question.
Good afternoon, Karen Caraballo, the Chief Entrepreneurial Development Officer, NEDCO. So my question comes out of the clients that we serve. So particularly post-COVID, what we recognized was a lot of our clients were not using technology. And there's a need for them particularly to be able to, we ban only would pivot, but in terms of just simply being able to do your business, right? And both the presenters before spoke on the various free apps and what Google, what Rose City would have identified as the various apps that can be used. But my question is, even when we communicate with them, at NEDCO, we provide various training and advisory services. There's still always that scare factor. How do I start this? Is it something as simple for me to understand? Am I literate enough to be able to do it? Right. So I would like to hear from any one of the presenters, either person from Google or from Rose City, if they can guide the person. How do you make that first step to start, to look, not feeling like it's beyond my learning or my education level?
Nicholas, I'm coming to you first.
Yeah.
Omar?
Sure. So I would say it depends on what they're trying to learn. For me, in my personal experience, I've been able to learn a huge amount of stuff just using YouTube, right? And I could say that I've been using YouTube to learn stuff long before I joined Google, and it really helps me. So, I worked previously at Microsoft, and I used YouTube to learn about technology. I've learned how to cook from scratch pretty much using it. Almost anything you can imagine you can learn that way, and technologies especially, there's videos for every single thing that exists under the sun.
Thanks, Nicholas. Omar?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question, and that's in a sort of way where, in my presentation, I was trying to convey that these, I think a lot of times the way technology is taught, it seems like something that is beyond, and even that challenge of adoption is challenges everybody has. And what I often say is that, okay, you are putting this barrier in front of yourself in terms of an education thing, but didn't you learn during COVID how to sign up for online banking? Didn't you learn how to WhatsApp somebody a screenshot of a payment? Then you learn how to send somebody payment details and receive that. And some of those things are even more complex than some of these technology tools. Nicholas makes an excellent point in that YouTube, there's so much material out there to learn, but a lot of it is just downloading the app and trying it, right? A lot of it is just trying to get people to say, look, try it. And not to stray too much, but in terms of this service we provide and stuff like that, and this came out of COVID, a lot of people were even like, you know, we can't do an online meeting. We cannot get on a Zoom. And it's like, no, look, just give it a try, right? Just get onto it. Just click the link, just get in, and eventually touching it, putting your hands on it, getting a feel of it, trying to publish a first invoice, trying to set up something, create an email campaign or stuff, you would find that even on those tools, there are a lot of assistance and tools that make it easy. But that's what I was trying to convey, that if my plumber could do it, anybody could, right? So a lot of it is just doing it, just downloading the app and doing it.
Thank you so much, Omar. And I think what you speak to as well is that cultural shift that we need to adopt in TNT, where we can make the technology ours. I'm going to squeeze in one more question, lady in the black, someone in the mic. Someone is bringing the mic to you now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My question is, in terms of Google website, setting up a Google website, is it that Google is going to be updating the back end? For instance, with some WordPress, you have to do the updating of the plugins for yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas would Google be updating for the client, like myself, for instance, if I get it? Or would I have to be updating that back-end plugin? Or is Google doing that?
Nicholas, this is all you.
Okay, when you say upgrading the back-end plugins?
Like, for instance, with WordPress, you have to update the plugins, if you understand what I'm saying, in terms of...
Right, so this is much simpler. It's not like WordPress. WordPress would be, honestly, more customizable. This is meant to be a simple drag and drop way of making a website. So you can use whatever images you want, your personal images. Now, it's not that you have to go with the exact personal templates, but it's just meant to be a very simple, completely Google managed service. And yeah, it does exist even at the free level.
Okay, thank you.
And one other thing I would want to mention, not related to this question, but to the previous one that I thought about, was that there's also a lot of websites for learning. There's Coursera. Google has one called Google Grow, but there's Coursera. There's many that have free trainings for all the technologies you could imagine.
Yeah. All right, Nicholas, let me thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you so much for all the knowledge that you shared, and have a good one. And we have a break coming up, but before we have the break, we also want to say thanks to our speakers who are in our midst. And so first of all, I want to call on Ms. Siobhan Thompson from B-Mobile. Thank you so much for your presentation. So can you join me on stage? Yes. And we will also again call Ms. Caraballo. Can you join us on stage as well? And Siobhan, NEDCO is just offering you a small token of their appreciation. Thank you so much for coming today. Very important presentation that's going to be dealing with cybercrime, especially as it relates to small and medium enterprises. We have a short break, and when I say short break, I mean short break.